Yo, what's good? It's your boy, Young JDR Sports, back with another ESPN Fantasy Football video. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys my breakout wide receivers, sleeper wide receivers, you know what I mean? So wide receivers that you can draft super late that I could see having a huge upside this season. So make sure you guys do drop a like, subscribe if you're new. We're over 100 subs, feels good. Let's keep on growing. And make sure you guys do go down and comment your favorite wide receiver that's on these list. There's going to be 4 receivers, but now let's get into it. I can't believe I have to say this for a first wide receiver that's slept on is AB. Antonio Brown himself. Yes, one of the best wide receivers of our times. You know what I mean? I'm saying he's a slept on wide receiver, and I not necessarily breakout, but you guys can get him super late in the drafts for how crazy he's actually been. He's on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he re-signed for another year, so he's going to be playing for them on this year. So let me find out. He's 32 years old, and he's slept on. Isn't that crazy to say? AB is really rated low, though. I know that. So we're going to go find him, though. His ranking on ESPN, he's questionable right now, too. I don't know why, really. But on his ESPN projection ranking is the 45th wide receiver, so that's really low. Wide receivers that are ranked above him are like Michael Gallup, the third string wide receiver for Dallas. I'm just looking for some other guys. All of the Bengals wide receivers are rated higher than AB. Marquise Brown, Will Fuller, just, you know what I mean? It's just crazy to see. AB is really productive. Last season, he joined at week 9 he played. He was Tom Brady's favorite receiver almost, it looked like. He started week 9 all the way to the end of the season. They had a bye week at week 13, and he finished with 483 yards and 45 receptions and 4 touchdowns. And I just love it, and I think that he is one of AB's favorite wide receivers. So, you know, I mean, he has probably the second best connection to Gronk is probably Brady's best connection, but behind that, I think AB's right there. And also, it seems like Chris Godwin, Mike Evans also been getting hurt a lot, you know what I mean, in the past couple years, and AB just seems pretty healthy overall in his full career. But think about that, he joined halfway through the season, basically, and had 483 yards and 45 receptions. He's gotten all the targets. He's getting volume for a third wide receiver on a team, and he's ranked the 45th receiver. I think he's going to get so much more volume than Michael Gallup and wide receivers, like I said before. There's 3 Bengals wide receivers ranked above AB. That's crazy. You know what I mean? 3 Bengals. I don't see the Bengals throwing the ball as much as the Buccaneers did last year. You know what I mean? I think the Buccaneers are going to be throwing the ball way more than than the Bengals. So I don't know why he's getting rated so low. And his ADP is getting picked around the 108 pick. I mean, that's just crazy. You know what I mean? I just can't believe I'm seeing Michael Gallup and like LaVisca. I know LaVisca's a good wide receiver and could have a breakout. I was debating to put him on, but for a dynasty league, I would understand. But for a redraft league, AB, you need to target him. You know what I mean? He's in a position, he's getting so much volume. You know what I mean? And I love it. AB is just crazy. His stats from his whole entire career, he's had so many 1,000-yard seasons. You know what I mean? So many. One of the best wide receivers, obviously in the decades, but just almost overall, like, you know, he's a Hall of Fame lock basically with him and Julio Jones. So he's just crazy, and I can't believe I'm saying he's slept on, but he's definitely gonna have a bounce back year. I'm 100%. He's gonna play the full season. He's gonna be Tom Brady's one of his highest volume receivers. But that is our number 1 slept on receiver, and I can't believe I'm saying that. But let's get into number 2. All right, number 2, this one should make a lot more sense. We're not going to talk about this one too much. Michael Pittman Jr. Michael Pittman Jr. Only played 13 games, but only 8 games he started as an offensive player, so it's kind of crazy. He played 8 games, all right, half the season, and he had 503 yards, 40 receptions, and only 1 touchdown, but still. The Colts offense, you know what I mean, it was really a run-based offense with Phillip Rivers, but guess what? They got Carson Wentz. I think this just starts the offense completely new. Carson Wentz and Michael Pittman Jr. connection, I think, is going to be for real. T.Y. Hilton signed again for another contract. I think it's 1 year, and I honestly think this is going to be T.Y. Hilton's last year, sadly. You know what I mean? He's just old, and even last year, T.Y. Hilton just wasn't really crazy until the end of the season. He had a couple good weeks, but Michael Pittman Jr. is just gonna take over. He's gonna take over this year. He's gonna take over for the future. You know what I mean? He's great prospects. He's 6'4". You know what I mean? I love everything about him, and I'm super happy with drafting him. You know what I mean? I think he's gonna get a lot of targets, a lot of receptions, yards. You know what I mean? Hopefully more touchdowns than last year. But yeah, Michael Pittman Jr. is also getting picked. Well, yeah, we gotta. That's the whole entire point about seeing slept on receivers. You know what I mean? To see where they're ranked. He's projected out of all receivers. T.Y. Hilton's the 54th receiver, right? Hear me out. Michael Pittman Jr. is the 64th rated receiver. Do not overdraft him, though. Seriously, there's obviously receivers you should be drafting. But, I mean, if he's down there, get him. Also, with Paris Campbell, another Colts wide receiver is rated at 65. So, every single Colts wide receiver is rated 54th and below. That's insane. You know what I'm saying? And with Michael Pittman Jr. at 64, I feel confident with drafting him late. All right, so not much to say there. And his ADP, let's go see where he's getting picked at. You know what I mean? I know he's getting picked super late, obviously. Let's see. T.Y. Hilton's getting picked above him at the 143. And Michael Pittman Jr. is getting picked around the 154. So, I don't know, man. I just think Michael Pittman Jr. is really getting slept on that he's that late, you know what I mean, getting picked. But that's pretty simple. Let's go into our number 3 wide receiver. Our number 3 wide receiver is kind of an iffy one, you know what I mean? You could hate him, you could love him. I personally have hope in him. A lot of people don't. It's Henry Ruggs, you know what I mean? Henry Ruggs only started 12 games last year, and he had 43 targets, 26 receptions, 452 yards, but only 2 touchdowns. Yeah, he couldn't get to the end zone much, because that was because Nelson Aguilar seemed to be one of the touchdown beast wide receivers for them, and they also got Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs, you know what I mean? So, but I definitely think Nelson Aguilar's gone. You know what I mean? He's on the Patriots now. I think Henry Ruggs is now going to be the number 1 wide receiver, even though they do have a couple other wide receivers. I'm going to try to find who else. I know they signed a couple, but still, though, I definitely think they have Hunter Renfrow. Hunter Renfrow, I just can't see being the number 1, you know what I mean? But Henry Ruggs, they drafted so early. He was the first wide receiver taken last year over CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Jerry Jeudy, go over all of them, you know what I mean? Just he was drafted over all those guys. I think even Jalen Reagor, you just keep going, Chase Claypool, you know what I mean? Oh my goodness, who's another one? T. Higgins, yeah, there's another one. You know what I mean? He was picked ahead of all those guys. And I don't know, he is going to do good, you know what I mean? He's not going to, it's his second year, you know what I mean? They're not just going to throw him away. And Tyrell Williams also is on the Lions now, so it really opens up the Las Vegas receiving core. And I think Derek Carr and Henry Ruggs are going to do pretty good, you know what I mean? I think Derek Carr loves to throw the deep ball, and I think Henry Ruggs is just going to get more targets in general and more touchdowns, hopefully. But I do have hope for him, and just because where he's getting picked at, especially, he's the 51st projected receiver, and then Nelson Aguilar is now on the Patriots. He's at 58. So, and yeah, the other receivers on the Raiders are really low. So Henry Ruggs at the 51, I'm feeling confident with picking. He's rated over wide receivers like Jalen Reagor, Jamison Crowder, T.Y. Hilton. You know what I mean? So around there, and his ADP is getting picked around. Let's see if I can find him now. Yikes, my bad. Let's see. He's probably getting picked a little bit higher, you know what I mean? But I definitely agree why he's getting picked higher. You know what I mean? He should be getting picked higher. Okay, he's getting picked around the 123. He's getting picked around the guys like AB. So he's getting picked around AB's spot, you know what I mean? But 5 picks later at the 123rd pick, you know what I mean? I love it. I love Henry Ruggs as being the number 1 wide receiver. You draft players because of volume and upside, and that it definitely explains Henry Ruggs' volume. He's going to get the volume and upside. He's a huge upside this year. So that's why I'm saying Henry Ruggs. And our last wide receiver on this breakout sleeper wide receiver list is Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm pretty sure that's how you say his name. I've heard people say it a little bit different, but Amon-Ra St. Brown. I just think getting drafted to the Lions in the 4th round was honestly probably I loved him as a prospect. You know what I mean? I'm kind of surprised he fell to the 4th round. He's only 5'11", so he's almost 6 foot. But I feel like he is not probably the best prospect, obviously, but he's in a position. He's going to get volume, and he has upside. You know what I mean? That's what we love about running backs and wide receivers, volume and upside. He played for USC for 3 years. In 2020, he played 6 games, 41 receptions, 478 yards, and in 2019, he had 1,042 receiving yards. You know what I mean? 77 receptions and 6 touchdowns. So the reason, it's not just about the college and about where he's getting picked at and the real draft. It's just where he's getting picked at in ESPN fantasy drafts and what team he's on and the position he's in. Obviously, rookie wide receivers don't really come out and become the number one wide receiver unless you're Justin Jefferson. But even Justin Jefferson shared playtime and a lot of snaps with Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen took a lot of volume, you know what I mean? CD Lamb had to share a lot of volume with Cooper Kupp. And Jerry Jeudy was kind of the number one last year, and Henry Ruggs, but just didn't do much production. But this is his rookie year, all right? He got drafted to the Detroit Lions, and they got Jared Goff now. Jared Goff's weapons are really limited, all right? They have TJ Hawkinson as tight end. He's going to be their number one, obviously. They have Tyrell Williams, and they have Amon-Ra St. Brown, and they have one more wide receiver they got. But and Quintez Cephus, I think that's how you say his name. I'm not confident with him. You just got to look at it. You just bring in Tyrell Williams. He's just got to the team. You know what I mean? Same with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown has so much more upside, and he's going to get so much more playing time. And they have Rashad Perryman, too, that they got from the Jets. So they have two new receivers they got from this year, all right? And then they got Amon-Ra St. Brown, all right? Well, so they're all new to the playbook. Jared Goff's new to the playbook. What do? You put the young guy in, and you're going to have him get most of the play time. First of all, because he probably has the most talent. And second of all, because he has the highest upside for the rest of his career. Tyrell Williams and Rashad Perryman aren't going to be on Detroit for a long time. You know, though, Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be on there for a long time. And he's actually rated lower than Tyrell Williams and Rashad Perryman. He's the 73rd projected wide receiver. He's getting undrafted in leagues that you are doing the redraft leagues. And 10-person, 12-person, he's getting undrafted. So that's crazy to say. So do not worry about picking him, all right? But especially if you're last round, I would go for him or pick him up after the draft. You know what I mean? He's just going to get so much volume. I think Jared Goff is going to have a lot of struggles with, you know what I mean? He doesn't have much wide receivers. Like at the Rams, he had Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, you know what I mean? Two great wide receivers. And then they even had Josh Reynolds. In this team, he really has no one, and they're all new to the team. And I think Amon-Ra St. Brown, I'm sorry, I keep messing up his name. He's going to get probably the most playing time because he's going to be there for a long time. And it's just crazy where he's getting picked at and just in the position he's at. He's going to get so much volume and has so much upside. And he's the 73rd rated wide receiver, and he's getting picked around the 169.7. So yeah, he's just really down here. You know what I mean? Like, you just look down here, like, he's getting almost picked around Julian Edelman. Julian Edelman supposedly retired. You know what I mean? He's getting also picked around Larry Fitzgerald. And Larry Fitzgerald's a retired free agent. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, do not worry about drafting him. You can definitely get him later. So those are my four wide receivers that have are going to have maybe a breakout season. But I think they're sleeper wide receivers. They're getting rated so low, and they just have a huge upside for the 2021 season. So make sure you guys do drop a big thumbs up on this video. Comment who your favorite wide receiver on this list is. And if you are new, make sure you guys do subscribe for more ESPN fantasy videos. But until next time, your boys out. Peace.